Hi guys, me again. I thought I'd pop on here and give you guys a quick little lesson on the arc process that I stumbled upon. It's a triangle. It's called arc. And I came across this triangle a few years back when my friend, we had just finished school and he had received a letter from the Church of Scientology asking him to join. And at the time, I did not know what that was. And I thought I'd do some research and see what that was about. And while looking through their website and looking at all the information that they had on there, I came across a page on their website and it said ARC. So I was like, what is this, right? And the Scientologists, as far as I understand it, call this the keystone to living, or something along those lines. I actually do it a bit differently. I call it CAR, okay? Because I feel like this is the vehicle for understanding. So what is ARC? Okay, so it's affinity, reality, and communication. All right. So as I said, the Scientologists say this is the keystone to living. For me, it's the opposite, right? It's the vehicle for understanding. So we've got communication over here, or let's do it a bit differently, right? So, I mean, we've got it up here. So we'll just draw the triangle, right? So the triangle looks something similar like this. Over here, you've got communication. Over here, you've got affinity. And over here, you have reality. Okay. So all of these, for me, okay, lead to, of course, a better understanding. So we'll have understanding over here at the bottom. Well, let's do it in capitals. Sorry, I know my handwriting is not the best, but that is of little importance over here. It's the message. Let's not get lost in the semantics of things, okay? So we have understanding. So all of these things lead up to understanding. Let me explain. So from what we can see over here, let me remove that. Okay, so now we've got communication, reality, and affinity. So what is happening over here? When one of these go up, all of them go up. When one of these go down, all of them go down. But what do they individually mean? All right, let's get our pen out here again. So affinity is pretty much how much you like someone or like something. Okay, so let's call this like over here. Let's go to the top. It's how much we like something. You can like your wife or your husband. It means you have an affinity for them. If you like your child, you've got an affinity for your child. If you like your prospect or your client, you've got an affinity for them. Okay, your reality is what you experience in that moment. For example, you can share a reality with a client who likes to go golfing. Okay, so if your client is a golfer and you are a golfer, you guys share a reality, right? You have something to talk about, and so on and so forth. The same thing when it comes to income. You can have a reality with someone who's on a similar income level as you, okay, but you might not have, if you're starting at the bottom, a reality with someone who is a millionaire, because you will not be on the same page. You will not look at things the same way. And as you edge yourself closer, so you are here, as you get closer towards millionaire status, okay, the millionaire is over here. So let's say you started over here and you end over here, you get more of a reality with the person, and you carry on progressing down this line, and now all of a sudden you start making $1 million, right? So you've gone from here to here, and now you have a reality with this person. Boom. Okay, so that's what that one's about. Reality. Same thing with a billionaire. A millionaire is not going to share reality with a guy who's a billionaire. But definitely as he progresses and he starts making tens of millions and then hundreds of millions, he'll get more and more and more of a reality with that person, and they will start kind of operating on the same level in a way, right? And communication, okay, we know this is verbal exchanges. It's data exchanged between two people. Right now, you and I are having, I'm doing this video. So you have a communication with me regarding this principle of CAR or ARC, whichever one you prefer. Now, let's get another color over here. If your communication with a person goes up, okay? So there's a quote that says, when in doubt, communicate. Always remember, communicate first. So if you don't understand someone, it's always good to start with questions, open-ended questions to start understanding the person, right? Why don't we get along? Why is there a difference of opinion? Obviously, respect factors into this as well. So let's say you are having a hard time with a prospect and you're not on the same page and they cannot understand why you are charging them XYZ for XYZ service, then you obviously need to work through that process and communicate with them. That means you need to start asking them questions. Is it a price problem, right? You start going through all the objections, you start addressing the objections, you start working through it with them, and hopefully it is a price problem and you can solve that, or hopefully it is a easy objection to solve. So in that moment, okay, while you're talking to the person, you guys are communicating and you're getting more of a reality with each other, okay? Because as you start to communicate with your client, you start to understand them a lot better, right? So now you're getting on the same wavelength. And any good salesman knows that, you want to kind of level with your client over here. So your understanding goes up, so your reality becomes higher. And when your reality gets higher with your prospect or your client, your affinity goes up as well. If you are having a hard time with one of your children and you sit them down and you talk to your children, okay, and something upsets you and you work through your problems, your reality with that person goes up because they start to open up with you and you start to level with them, and now you guys get to a point where you are on the same page and you like each other again. Same thing with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever. If you guys are going through a rough patch and you haven't been communicating and everything is all shaky, and you start communicating and you start asking questions and you start getting down to the root cause, you have to kind of ask why until you can't ask why anymore, and then that's what you address, right? So why? Because XYZ. Why? Because XYZ. Why? Because XYZ. And then why? And then if you can't answer that, or the answer is the same as the previous why, then that's where you start, right? Good baseline to start. Now you start communicating, and an exchange, a verbal exchange starts to happen between you two. Now, because you're understanding each other, your reality with each other go up, and as a result of your reality, your affinity, your liking for each other goes up. When all three of these happen, you have a better understanding of the person. But it can help work in the opposite direction as well. Okay, so if your communication starts to deteriorate with a person, your conversation is going nowhere, you're not going to like the person as much, so you're going to have less of an affinity like with that person, and your reality with that person is going to go down. You're going to see yourself as further and further and further away with that person. So when you and someone get into a relationship, let's see if we can draw this nicely. Okay, there is love in the air, and then communication breaks down, and now you guys start drifting apart. Okay, now give her some hair so we know what we're dealing with here, and it starts to drift, and now you have this broken heart over here. Okay, and now your reality with each other have gone down. You can't see, oh, you've changed, you're not the same person I was with when I just met, and all the excuses, you can list them out here. You can kind of assume, and now you start liking each other less, right? And oftentimes when there are kids involved or anything, or money or finances, or you haven't got a prenup, then nasty things tend to happen. So guys, I hope that you can understand this principle. Very, very, very important principle. Again, shout out to one of my friends who kind of pointed me in this direction, because if it wasn't for him, I would never have come across this triangle, but it has definitely served me. And if you guys want to go check it out, you can probably just type in arc triangle Scientology, you go read up about it a bit. This is my understanding of it, right? This is how I've used it and applied it in my life when I've ever been in doubt, I've always communicated, right? So make it a point to learn good questions, open-ended questions. Ask why a lot of the time. It's important. The most important question you can ask on this planet, please, is why. Okay? Why? It's the most important question, because if an authoritative figure or someone cannot explain why you should do something, you should not do it. Okay? This is general knowledge. Most of the time people have to put this behind a paywall because algorithms flag them for saying this. But if someone cannot, if listen to me, if someone cannot tell you why you should do something, you should not do it. Okay? Borderline knowledge there. Please. Don't do things for people who cannot explain why. If you're young, ask your parents why you should do something. Ask your teachers why you should do something. Most of the time, these people will tell you not to do something and then they will be doing it. We saw this, or we continue to see this, in the world happening today. Don't want to get into specifics. I don't want to get banned, but it is what it is, right? So please, guys, please ask why. And start using this triangle, okay? Car, the vehicle of understanding, like I like to call it. You can also call it the key to living if you would like. But this is how I use it. This is how I apply it in my life. Hope that has been helpful to you. If it has, please let me know below, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.